Yeah, hi, Bruce from Safari. We're looking at the log here for the sea trial yesterday with the Seakeeper. And the first thing we're going to look at is the route that we took, which I've pulled up here. That's where Safari's offices are. And we went down to Boatworks, put it in at Boatworks, went out around the Paradise Point and back again. Altogether, we did 23.6 kilometres. And now let's have a look at the energy story. So quite interesting. So this period here, slightly positive, is when the engine's idling. So the twin Verados idling away give out maybe 100 watts, 250 watts of energy. Not very much at all, very, very low. They're struggling in here to do more than, say, 150 or so. At this point here, where the current goes negative here, and the voltage starts to dip, is when we're spooling up the Seakeeper. And so the Seakeeper here, this is a net number that we're seeing here, net of the engine, of the contribution from the engine with Scotty. So spooling up, it's doing close to 600 watts is my estimate. And that's, we stopped and started it twice in there, but that's pretty much where it's running. And at this point, we took off in the boat. Now, let's just check up here. This is the DC system. So these are the net DC numbers. So there's the minus 259. There was a touch 280 there, but it was around about that 200, fluctuated a bit. That's while the engine's idling. Very inconsistent power. This is the spooling up again. This is the net number. So we've got to add on to this the contribution from the energy back here. So it's about 580, 600 watts. And then suddenly we go negative again as we start to move out. Now, in the first period here, I had some set points in it. I changed them, and then we went down a bit deeper here. And then finally I got my last settings here I was pretty happy with. Down here we can see 817 watts at that peak, 827 and 992. And that was at full revs. That's when we were doing full throttle back here. And I think it might have been there as well. Then it turns off. And why does it turn off? It's because the charge and discharge current limits from the lithium here said it would accept 1500 watts here, zero, no charge. And that's because the battery is full. So it hits 52.3 volts. We tell it to turn off, doesn't charge. So Scotty's listening away on the can, doesn't charge. But we do get a little boost in here when I made a setting change here on the way back. So, and that also shows us the voltage. So we started off the day, or certainly at the end of the spooling, the battery voltage was 49.62, and after driving, pretty much got to 52.3 very quickly. So on the state of charge curve, it went from 96% to 100% quite quickly. We hadn't taken a lot out. And the battery temperature the whole time through this didn't overheat, wasn't working at all. You know, it's very, very minor, 27, 28, 1 degree C. That's in there. So, so what that data tells me is this, that the Verados have very poor output when they're idling, and that comes as no surprise. Once they go up to high revs, then we were able to get out of both of them the 992 plus the Seakeeper. So this is a net number going into the battery. So the Seakeeper, I think, then was somewhere around about 12 amps or so at 13 volts, 260. So out of both Verados going along here, we're getting about 1250 watts of charge. And these settings here were the best settings I could get to, I think. So, and then when it's spooling up, we've got this period of time here. So you could spool up the Seakeeper and not have any engines on at all. They're really a waste of time to have them idling. Don't have them idling. We just turn it on. This will jump up a bit higher. Won't have any difficulty at all from the 48 volts spooling it up. And then once you take off, the batteries will be at a lower state of charge. lower voltage and they'll charge quicker. So that's the summary of it, and I think it's quite a good result. How good's that?